all in one.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set.
Just call me Swanny.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's drive time right here on the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk. Lawton Swan with you as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond. And hanging out with us today on the guest line, Mike Uva. He's on Twitter at Mike_UVA. Mike, what's up, man?
Good. How you doing, Swanny?
Dude, I'm great. I'm just excited. I had to come to the studio to do the show today. I'm just excited I still remembered how to make an outbound call here at iHeart. So that was the first challenge I've had today that I was like, oh, boy, do I still know how to do this? So good to have you all, man.
Well, looks good. I'm looking at it right now. Looks good. Nice little backdrop.
Yeah, I spruce up. I tell you what I end up having to do is we got to set up a delay at the house. And so to come in here to be behind the 10-second delay, I'm going to be at least in here for today, if not for a couple more days. But we're hoping to get it all squared away. It's the business, It's part of the business. It's part of the show. Hey, look, man. First off, you have done such an incredible job with your platform, and just from somehow wrangling yourself into becoming the Biscuit King of the South with the Uva over at Bojangles, but now I see that you've got the Mix in a Water T-shirts that are coming out and to help a good cause, man. And you said it in the video. I watched your whole video that you put out on social media about this. One of the things that I've been fortunate enough to do with my platform here at iHeart is to help those in need, to do things for good. And, man, it sounds like what you've got going on with these new T-shirts is really something incredible.
Yeah, Lon, I'll say this. I mean, I've been down here for 5.5 years, and not just the city of Columbia, but this entire state of South Carolina. I have just been blown away by the support that I've received and just how welcoming. You hear it all the time about the Southern hospitality, but, to truly come down here and experience it firsthand has been life-changing. Columbia in particular has been so special to me. And obviously, coming down here, not that I view myself as anything special now, but coming down here as someone that was so new and raw to this business, for these things to happen, whether it be awards or biscuit or this or that, at the end of the day, I'm still the same person. And I think more than anything, as my platform has grown because of it, whether it's stories or any of those other things I mentioned, I've never lost sight of who I am. And the bottom line is, I want to make sure that I can continue to be able to help others, because there's been so many people that have helped me in my career, not just professionally, but personally. So I think it would be selfish of me not to use a platform that continues to grow. And even if I didn't have a platform, but to have one, I want to continue to give back, especially to a place that I have called home now for the last 5.5 years. So obviously I have a lot of fun, whether it's reporting on sports or being able to just make some jokes on social media. But people that have followed me, I use this term, mix in a water, which basically what that means is, when people say outlandish takes, usually on social media, to, hey, put the drink down, and mix a water in and kind of just relax a little bit. It was a joke my dad used to use at family gatherings back in the day. And we were going to make a T-shirt for that. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that we were able to use those proceeds to donate that to a good cause. And I had some people reach out over the weekend, and one cause in particular that it just seemed like it was a perfect fit was a fund that's being created for a USC student who unfortunately passed away less than a month ago by way of suicide. And he was the president of a fraternity at USC, was a tremendous student, brilliant, and just an absolutely good person. Did so much. He would go out of his way to counsel those who were going through difficult times. He would leave positive messages on his refrigerator for his roommates. He was just one of those good people, but no one ever would have expected anything like this from him. And I think that's the challenge with mental health, because of that stigma that still exists, that people have difficult times being able to reach out for help. So with this money, it's going to go to a fund that his family has created. As you can imagine, since the event was so recent, it is still so fluid. And because of that, they are continuing to work through it. But that money will be able to help those who are going through mental health challenges. So just very overwhelmed by the number of people who have already bought shirts. We're quickly approaching $1,500 worth of funds so far. I mean, and the website's crashed a couple times already. So I'm just very, very pleased with how this has gone so far.
Well, and, I think for South Carolina fans peeking over the fence, the Helinski's Hope deal was such a big thing a few years ago. And now to see you being able to carry on and help some people out with a similar situation in a lot of respects when it comes to suicide. My good buddy Mark hosts a podcast called Relatively Normal. And what's incredible about it for me, listening to his show every week, is that knowing him and to know what he deals with is so incredible, because if you're around him, you don't know what he's going through. There's no it's not like you can read that in somebody, because people put it away. They lock it in a suitcase and hide it from you in a lot of respects, because, like you mentioned, so many people being concerned about what somebody might think if you are feeling that way or thinking that way. So, man, good for you, and appreciate you always being a part of the program. And I love having you on, not only because of the way you've changed the game in terms of covering the South Carolina Gamecocks, but also, that you are a guy that's doing the right thing with your platform. So I appreciate that, Mike. All right, let's switch gears, man. Actually, do you have a website or something you can give out for people to go check that out?
Yeah, I mean, I've posted it on my Twitter, and I'll pin it for anyone that knows that. I mean, it's probably the easiest way. It's my Twitter account is Mike_UVA, but you could also just go directly to their website. I'm trying to make sure I have the right website up for it.
That's all right. Just give them the Mike. Everybody uses Twitter. They'll get to it. So Mike_UVA on Twitter.
And I have to say this too, Swanny. We had so many people reach out wanting to help, whether it be people that do websites for a living, or obviously create these shirts. And Dan from, actually, believe it or not, Edmonton, Canada, was one of the first people to reach out. Had the designs, sent multiple designs, and we were able to kind of work towards one that we thought that was both thought it was good. But he's like, I don't want any money from this. I don't feel right. It's not going to cost him anything other than the standards fee that you use when you pass it along to get it scanned and all that kind of stuff. Which obviously I have no clue how that all works. But he has been phenomenal, and he just continues. I mean, it's been awesome, because he said, Mike, I wasn't, I've done stuff like this, but I had no idea how quickly this was going to work. And the fact that the website itself has crashed multiple times today just because of the traffic has been incredible. And obviously that it gets frustrating at times because people are trying to buy. But at the same time, too, it just goes to show, not just here in Columbia, but the community support throughout the state, because I'm sure there's been Clemson fans as well, and, non-USC or Clemson fans that have stepped up. It's just great. And actually, I was trying to figure out, who's calling me from Maryland? And I just looked in my messages, and it's actually the mother of James just leaving a message. She's just extremely grateful, it says, of everything that's going on. So just a tremendous family, being able to meet them over the last couple of days. And their son just seemed like just an incredible person. So I'm very, very happy that we were able to get that story delivered by one of his friends. And now that's one of the causes that we're looking out for and being able to carry on his legacy.
Mike Uva here on Clemson Sports Talk today. All right, Mike, let's switch gears to the South Carolina Gamecock football team so we can peek over the fence. The Gamecocks, much like the Tigers, incredibly 2-2, out of the gates up at Clemson. I know they're very disappointed, but South Carolina again in this ball game, 16-10, the final score over at Williams-Brice Stadium this past Saturday. Kentucky's an undefeated team. I kind of felt like this was a hinge game in a lot of respects for the Gamecocks. I felt like if they won this ball game, it was sort of maybe foreshadowing bigger things to come for this team. 2-2 now. Where are we on that front?
Well, I think, Swanny, if you want to just label it as a certain game, would be a swing game, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
When you get late into October, November, you're talking potential bowl games. This was a game that ultimately could determine whether or not South Carolina gets in, as to whether or not this is a team that, if they do finish with 5 wins, this is the game that may keep them out of a bowl game. Now, is that to say the season's over? No. Is that to say that they can't improve as the season goes on and potentially beat some of these teams on the back half of that gauntlet of a schedule to get into a bowl game? I mean, it can still happen, but that's just where we are right now based off to the fact that they are a 2-8 team from last year, new coach, still young at certain positions, in particular quarterback, and they're just trying to figure out who they are. I think the challenging part, and I was very, very appreciative of the candid response from Shane Beamer today when I asked him just point blank, because I think one of the more frustrating things right now with this team, when you see them go up against a Kentucky team, their defense is very good right now. Is it Clemson good? No. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. I mean, There's a long way to go over that. And then, of course, there's another level, which is Georgia good. But they are a good team defensively. They have made improvements from last year. Did they have struggles stopping the run? Absolutely. It was a nosebleed. But in terms of giving up points, they did a great job. They gave their offense an opportunity to win the game. But that's the issue, is the offense. And I think a large part of that, not to make excuses, but let's just call a spade a spade. It is evident that Luke Doty is not 100%. And like I've said on your program before, I've said on other shows, I've said it on my shows, Doty is a dual threat guy. He needs to be able to get out of the pocket, and he needs to be able to use his feet. When you make him one-dimensional, it's going to be a long day. That's not saying the kid does not have an arm, but he needs that element of his game, because when he becomes one-dimensional, they're not going to do anything. So the fact that he's not 100%, and Shane even shared that today, he's healthy enough to go out there, but we're continuing to add more wrinkles into the offense. I just don't know how much you can do with this offense without the running ability for Luke Doty. I just don't know if you can do that. Can you get by Troy this week? Yeah, you should be able to do that. But without him being himself right now, I think you just see how the offense just doesn't look in sync. And it was evident against Kentucky, especially in critical situations last week on 3rd and 4th down.
Now, Mike, when it comes down to the fan base, it's fun when the coach is fresh. It's fun when he's exciting. It's fun when he's energetic. It's fun when Welcome Home is working. But when you're 2-2 and you're kind of staring at down the barrel of what South Carolina will be running into here in a few weeks, I mean, what have you heard? Because you're right there in the mix. I've seen you in some of the I don't know if you call them a mosh pit, but some of the celebrations that are going on in Columbia at times for some of these youngsters. What's the mindset right now from the casual fan of the Gamecocks?
Well, I think that's the word casual fan. I think that's the $1 million question, because I think some of the casual fans will get it. I think there's a lot of people realistically that understand what this team is. And the reality is this is a team that has a new coach who inherited a 2-8 team from a year ago. And look, the honeymoon phase was incredible. Well, guess what? The honeymoon phase is over now. We knew this was going to happen at some point, right? And that's not to say, they could have beat Kentucky, but at some point in this year, it was going to happen. South Carolina just wasn't going to go 12-0. Sorry, not going to happen. So the point being is, people that had realistic expectations for this team, I think they understand it. I think the challenging part for some people is they want to see improvement. And it just isn't going to happen overnight. And we live in a society, to use a quote from Will Muschamp, which it's just been in my head.
Is this legal? Can you do this?
Can I do this? I'm sure I'll bother some people. I'll upset them. Society today, we like to press the reset button and move on.
Yeah.
People are calling for Marcus Satterfield's head and this and that. Let's make changes here. Are you freaking kidding me? Really? Hey, reality check, Gamecock fans, or anyone for that matter, any team that says that. for a first-year offensive coordinator. This isn't a freaking video game, all right? You just can't be hiring and firing coaches left and right because it is going to be just an absolute mess. Take that from someone who only played Division II football, how much of a challenge it is when you have to move and shuffle things around even in just 1 year. To do it mid-season? Are you kidding me? So, look, the reality is this from an offensive standpoint. This isn't defend Marcus Satterfield. There's things I'm sure that he's not doing great, all right? I mean, it's evident that the offense is not making the improvements in certain areas that they were last year, especially in the run game. But with that being said, you need to look at it in this regard. This is a brand new coaching staff inheriting players that they did not recruit, number one. Number two, you have a quarterback that just started his third career game who, oh, by the way, is not healthy. And if he's not able to use his feet, which is one of the most important and critical parts of his game, how can you expect this offense to really do anything right now? That's not to make excuses. That's just the reality. So I do believe that as the season goes on, there will be improvement, and you will see it. If they continue to go steps backwards and, you just look like you have not made any improvements by the time the end of the year, then that's the time to look at what do we do next year. I'm not pressing the cancel button on Marcus Satterfield 4 games in after starting 2 different quarterbacks, including one who is hobbling around still on a foot who, oh, by the way, just a month ago, he injured.
Well, look, I mean, best case scenario for South Carolina at this point, you were going to be 3-1, right? I mean, was anybody saying you're going to be 4-0? No, you're a game off of what you hoped at this point. I mean, that's just the facts of the matter. Now, before we get you out of here, I do always like to talk Clemson with you, but as South Carolina continues to move through this season and those goals and expectations do change, I mean, isn't it a sad indictment of the microwave society that we live in that a coach like Shane Beamer isn't really given time to be successful by a portion of the fan base?
Yep. I mean, and I think that's just where we are right now. And I think, and I've said this before, I think Muschamp may have had an extra year if Clemson's not doing as well as they have over the last couple of years. May have.
Yeah.
But I think when you see what's going on in the upstate with a team that is your rival and you hate them, you have that so much sports hate in your blood for them, I think it kind of speeds that clock up a little bit. So, Clemson, yes, they've had a tough start so far this year in comparison to what the expectation is up there. But at the same time, too, because of the success Clemson has had, I think some people have unrealistic expectations sometimes because they want to get back to that era of having success, not only against Clemson, but being able to have success in the conference, which at the end of the day is such a small window in the 120-plus year history of South Carolina football.
Mike Uva again on Twitter at Mike_UVA. All right, Mike, final thing. We got about 2 minutes. So Clemson, the offensive issues. I mean, are they just a good game away from being in rhythm and being a scary football team again?
I think the bottom line is this, Swanny. We have seen what this team has done over the last couple of years, for almost in the last decade, and how good they have been. So in a sense, it's kind of like the Patriots. You just feel like, and granted, it's a little apples and oranges because the guy Tom Brady was out there. But the point being is you just feel like this team, because of what they've done in the past, that you just can't write them off. Have they been the team of the past these last couple of games? No. And they've had some challenging games. I mean, that Georgia one in particular, and I'm sure it messed some people's heads up a little bit because you're not used to playing a team of that caliber that early in the year. But I think that's going to help this team as the season goes on. So I think the big thing for them is being able to just get that rhythm going and that confidence for DJ Uiagalelei. Because if he's able to get that confidence, this is a team that has the defense that can put you in ball games, that can keep you in ball games. You just need to be able to generate some offense. And it's ironic to sit here after 4 weeks of the season to talk about a Clemson team that cannot generate offense because that's not what we've been, accustomed to over the last couple of years. So I think if the good thing is, this is the beauty of the ACC. We know it's not that strong top to bottom. You have opportunities to gain that confidence. And like you said, might just take one game to get that confidence back. And you know what? Clemson could be making some steamway as the season goes on and continue to finish the year out on a high note.
Follow him on Twitter at Mike_UVA. Mike, man, we'll talk to you next Tuesday, buddy.
Appreciate it, Swanny.
There he is, Mike Uva, hanging out with us on a Tuesday afternoon. 803-450-0086. That's your text line. The phone line open now, 803-978-1832. Jump in while you can. Stay with us.
Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
Couple of tie-ups, I-77 southbound near the Blythewood Road exit, also a wreck, Wilson Boulevard at Community Road. If you're stuck, use the 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Group training is a fun, accountable way to get in shape. I'm Coach Stewart of Dynamic Health and Fitness. Come train with one of our special groups today. We will focus on giving you the support you need to get in shape. We use the Dynamic Mob, featuring intervals of cardio, functional training, and strength training to change your lifestyle to make you healthy. Get started today at any of our locations in Lexington or West Columbia, or call 803-408-4060 or online at dynamichealthclub.com.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Fall flex savings are happening now at Studemeyer Heating and Air Conditioning. Now through November 19th, save thousands on a new heating and air system for your home through the Studemeyer HVAC Flex rebates. Flex your way to savings with a new Bryant Evolution Extreme High-Efficiency Heat Pump and Air Conditioner, and get a free air purifier, a $2,000 value. Financing options available, including 12 months, same as cash. Don't miss this chance to flex your way to savings this fall. Go to StudemeierHeating.com to learn how. That's StudemeierHeating.com.
At Firehouse Subs, we make our subs differently because our subs can make a difference. And now it's never been easier to grab our subs to go for you or your whole crew. With Firehouse Subs Rapid Rescue to Go, you can save time when you order online at firehousesubs.com or on our app. And we'll have your subs boxed, bagged, and ready for pickup at our designated to-go areas. No lines, no waiting. Just more big, bold, craveable subs that help save lives. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
Looking for South Carolina's favorite country? You'll find it at 97.5 WCOS.
Talk, Lawton Swan with you here today. Sorry about that. I don't know how that sounded. I forgot. Like, I still got the fades built in, but I'm live. So, not sure. Again, Clemson and South Carolina both falling this weekend by 6 points. Clemson losing to NC State. We've talked about the Wolfpack and their road ahead. Much more difficult. Again, Clemson, you can worry about two things. Clemson and NC State. Outside of that, look, if you get beat by Wake Forest, doesn't matter. I don't think that whoever beats Clemson, if it's more than one team in the league, I don't think either of them would lose enough games, which would have to be 3 at that point for Clemson to get in. I think it's Clemson. You got to go undefeated the rest of the way. And I think it's NC State and what happens with them with their remaining schedule. And the fact that they have to play Miami and North Carolina tends to create this feeling. And I know North Carolina last weekend shellacked, beaten from pillar to post by Georgia Tech. But I think that those are still two teams that would certainly have a good chance to beat Miami, have a chance to beat NC State, not to mention Wake Forest, not to mention Louisville. So I think there's still a lot of meat on the proverbial bone for North Carolina State as well to get to the ACC championship. Clemson's just got to get things right offensively. As for the world of college football, I mentioned the QOTD, the question of the day, who's the most disappointing team in college football? And if it's not Clemson, then who, in your opinion, this year? And it's a bitter pill to swallow and a tough place to be if you're a Tiger fan, because you just haven't had to be that. As a matter of fact, on this radio show, since we went on the air, this is only the second time that I've been on the air where I've had to talk about a team with 2 losses in September. I mean, that's how good Clemson has been during our tenure on the air and during the past 6-7 years up in Tiger Town. They have been the cream of the crop in college football. But who's been more disappointing out there at this point? I mean, I don't know that there is a name. Clemson currently the only 2-loss team ranked in the top 25. Clemson, again, a 2-loss team who started off in the mind's eye of most people as a top 4 potential college football playoff team. If there's any bright side, positive, whatever to all of this for Clemson is that it's still early in the season. And maybe chaos ensues ahead of you. Texas A&M fans, I know, have to be frustrated by the fact that they were defeated by Arkansas this weekend. The Arkansas Razorbacks now 4-0, rocking and rolling up to number 11 in the country in the coaches poll, up to number 8 in the country in the AP poll. I want to pose something to you here, and it's a little bit outlandish. But that's what I do. I pose the occasional outlandish thought to you. So Chad Morris, who is currently coaching high school football. No. I'm not calling for Chad Morris to come back and juice up Clemson's offense. That's not where this is going. But if you've been a part of this program, you will recall that Chad Morris, after leaving Clemson, took over at SMU. And at the end of the 2017 season at SMU, where Chad Morris was not spectacular, 2-10 in year 1, 5-7 in year 2, 7-5 in year 3, Chad Morris took the job at Arkansas. Now, again, for you at this point, not a huge deal. Except for the fact that you might remember the following season, SMU in their first year under Sonny Dykes, went 5-7 and struggled. But then the second year under Sonny Dykes, they went 10-3, which would have been when all of those players, save for a handful were Chad Morris's guys. The year after that, they went 7-3. Currently 4-0. Now you look at Arkansas. The Razorbacks, not great. Never did win a game in the SEC under Chad Morris. 2-8 his final season. Fired in the middle of the year. He goes 4-18 as the head coach at Arkansas. 2 years later, whose recruits are those? Whose recruits are currently at Arkansas, for the most part, getting the job done? If you said Chad Morris, you're right. And I don't know if that's an indictment on Morris's inability to coach or an indictment on the microwave society that we've created in sports. They went 3-7 a year ago with Sam Pittman as their head coach. So it's hard for me to believe that in a year, now they're 4-0 with Sam Pittman, one of the top 10 teams in the country, that had Chad Morris been given time, or had Chad Morris stayed at SMU, would he have had success? It seems like about year 4 or 5, the programs where Chad Morris has gone have done well. Again, I don't know if that's a Chad Morris thing. I don't know if that's a Sam Pittman thing. I don't know if that's a Sonny Dykes thing, or is that just a patience thing? So for the Gamecocks out there, worried and concerned about their program today at 2-2 through 4 games with a head coach that I personally think is a great hire, unlike the last guy I thought was a horrible hire, guess what? Let it ride. Give the man some time. All right, we got callers on hold. Callers, stay with us. Don't you hang up. We've got to hit a break, but when we come back, we're coming right to the phone line. So you want to stay with us here for more on the show that shakes the Southland.
Our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the ultimate once-in-a-lifetime music event, is coming to the CW.
Let's get it started.
The biggest stars from all genres of music share one stage.
Billie Eilish,
Cheap Trick,
Coldplay,
Darius Rucker,
Dua Lipa, J. Cole,
Journey,
Khalid, Lil Baby, Nelly,
Sam Hunt,
Weezer,
with special guests
Florida Georgia Line,
Walker Hayes. Performances you've never seen before and will never see again.
The 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Watch this Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. on Columbia's CW.
Gamecock fans enjoy one more home game before their team gets back on the SEC road. Hey, it's Christopher Thompson ready to bring you the best Gamecock coverage for the Troy game Saturday afternoon on 103.5 FM and 560 AM WVOC. We'll be at the Sharp Shop right across Bluff Road from Williams-Brice Saturday afternoon, then back with our fifth quarter post-game show Saturday night. The Gamecocks in Troy Saturday on the SEC Network, the best Gamecock coverage, game days on WVOC.
Are you ready to see every Fixer Upper episode ever? Now you can on Discovery Plus. Stream every demo and every design from the show that started it all. Plus, design and remodeling pros Chip and Joe are back with fresh ideas for turning outdated homes into innovative living spaces. In the new series, Fixer Upper Welcome Home. New challenges, stunning home transformations, and every episode from the beginning. Get it all for just $4.99. The streaming home of Fixer Upper and so much more. Exclusively with Discovery Plus. Start your free trial today.
Imagine a disease that can hurt any part of your body, like your joints, heart, kidneys. Your immune system becomes so hyperactive that it attacks instead of protects. That's lupus. You don't look sick, so no one knows you feel awful. You also may know someone who has it. Join us for Lupus Research Alliance's virtual Many One Can. Walk with us to cure lupus, October 2nd at noon. No one can cure it alone, but many one can. Visit walk.lupusresearch.org to register now.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Ensure Max Protein.
Dak Prescott's hot start to the season continued. After a big Cowboys win on Monday night, he's patient, he's smart, leadership. He may not have the best arm or be in the class of Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar as a playmaker, but with the talent around him, he doesn't have to be. Dak's biggest issue, can he overcome his head coach? Dallas is going to win the NFC East, but that's likely their ceiling. I'm Colin Cowherd.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
You know the final score. Now listen to the NFL podcast that tells you why it happened. Premiering September 14th.
Do they have a skill or trait that is going to allow them to survive?
Dan Orlovsky, Scott Pioli, and me, Bob Wischusen, are tape heads who watch the tape and give fans the answers.
Regardless of what the hierarchy is, folks need to be servants to the head coach.
Listen to Tape Heads on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can save money and help the environment without taking a vow of poverty. How does that work? Well, by choosing Energy Star qualified lighting for your home. When you do, you'll become part of a growing national movement. Just go to EnergyStar.gov and click on Take the Change a Light Pledge. It takes only a few short seconds for you to have a long-term impact. Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
Want to hit a home run with your smart speaker? Alexa, play Fox Sports Radio 1400 on iHeartRadio.
That sounds like a pretty good choice to me.
Talk, Lawton Swan with you from the palatial Greystone Boulevard 316, getting it done at iHeartRadio today, live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ed's hanging out with us. It's been a long time, Ed. What's up, man?
Oh, it has been a long time. I almost hung up and said, no, it'll be another year if I can talk to him. Let me stay on the line here. So,
up,
you know, everybody's frustrated with the offense. I get it. You know, and you can point to everything that's a problem. But that little clip you showed yesterday,
yeah.
If the offensive line's not blocking, DJ can't find a receiver. You know, the running back's not going to run. So we got problems. We're all frustrated. I get it. But I think we just need to step back, take a deep breath, and trust the man that brought us 2 national championships to fix this and make it right.
I agree, Ed. I mean, when you go back to that play, the 3rd and 5 is the one that was, I think, like, look, I hate the throw on 4th down, but the 3rd and 5, DJ doesn't have a chance to blink before somebody.
No, I mean, it's like right on top of them. And not to make this a political thing, but, you know, I do want to do my own part because, you know, everybody's been affected with, you know, COVID. If you don't have the shot, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go get it. It works. I've had both mine and my booster, you know. I've had 2 daughters that's fought the COVID off. Unfortunately, I've not had it.
Well, good for
so
you,
it works.
Man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I look, I'm a vaccinated guy myself. I'm not against the people that aren't wanting to get vaccinated either. You know, you got to make the choice for yourself. I will be getting the booster though. I have yet to have COVID, so appreciate it, Ed. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just like Dabo. That's what Dabo Swanny said. He said, listen, just talk to your doctor. You go to your doctor and say, hey, what do you think? Should I take this? And if your doctor says, no, you don't need it, then, hey, that's what your doctor told you. I mean, if your doctor, Ed, I'm with you. Like if my doctor says, Swanny, look, man, you need to start taking a multivitamin. You need to get on this, that, and the other. Dude, hey, doc, okay. I'll do what you tell me. That's why you're a doctor and I'm a radio show host. Believe me, you don't want it to be the other way around because doctors are boring on the radio. I'd make a fine doctor. I don't know, man. Appreciate it, Ed. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the phone call. Again, lots to get to here. Holy smokes. I'll tell you what I am going to have to do. This is like it's a voicemail. I'll play it on tomorrow's show. I guess I could dial up the voicemails, though. Nick chimes in the program, listening to us in Georgia today. He says, the way Georgia Tech beat North Carolina, do you think Clemson struggled to win against Georgia Tech, or is Georgia Tech having a good run? Combo of both, I think. I think Georgia Tech, and I've kind of been in this camp for a while, I do like the job that Jeff Collins is trying to do there, but I thought it was a Herculean effort to try to overturn. I mean, you were trying to take a Model T Ford and turn it into a Ferrari. And I think the brilliance, look, I've mentioned how smart I think that Shane Beamer is with the welcome home deal and trying to lock down the state of South Carolina, while the talent in this state may not be rich this year, maybe even next year, but over the long haul, you'll win some guys in state. You'll beat Clemson out for them, and that's a big recruiting win for the Gamecocks. But I love what Jeff Collins has done with the 404 and the A and making it a big deal to be a part of the Georgia Tech program and being a Yellow Jacket in Atlanta and staying close to home and fighting Georgia for players in that state. I mean, that's a brilliant move. I mean, half of this game that we love called college football is marketing. I mean, Dabo Swinney's all-in deal and BYOG, bring your own guts and all that, man, it is a marketing 101. Oregon, all the gear, all the shoes, all the hype with the Nike, marketing 101. And if you don't have something to market yourself on outside of just the product on the field, then how else do you convince players to come across the country or come play for you when there's a team in your own backyard or in their home state like Georgia? I mean, how do you think Clemson's beat out Georgia and North Carolina in recent years for recruits? Marketing. Alabama does a great job with it. You know what Alabama markets? How much money their players make in the NFL. There was a throw last night in that Eagles-Cowboys game where Jalen Hurts threw the ball. I can't remember who the wideout was. It's from Alabama. And the guy that picked it off was from Alabama. Alabama, they put out marketing, man. They put out what their players have gotten paid in the NFL. Do you want to come get that check? Come be a part of what we do at Alabama. Marketing. 803-450-0086. Kenneth says, no disrespect, but let's not act like the insane Alabama fans who want to fire Saban when they only win by 7 or the few times that they do lose a game. Right, Kenneth? I mean, listen, I was at Clemson. I know this is not going to soothe your soul, but your boy Swanny, I was at Clemson in 1998. Now, if you're a youngster out there and you don't know what that was, just the worst season. I don't know this to be a fact. I'll say it on the air, but I would venture to guess it was Clemson's worst season since World War II. 3-8. Folks, I'm telling you, it was rough. 803-450-0086 text line. You could call us today, 803-978-1832. We got another caller on hold. What we will do, caller, hold through the break, and we will get to you right after it because I only got about 15 seconds, and I want to hear from you. It's very, like Ed said earlier, Swanny, I didn't think I'd be able to call you for a year. Good point, Ed. That might be the case. So we do want to hear from you, so stay on hold. We'll be right back. Final segment next.
Are you thinking about refinancing your home, but worried that closing costs could cancel out any money you would save? It could happen. In fact, average closing costs for a $300,000 home in South Carolina are over $2,000. Yikes! How's that going to save you money? Cap your costs with a zero closing cost mortgage from Cap Center, your local mortgage lender.
This is our 6th time using Cap Center. And once again, the quality of service and speed of processing was excellent, and the savings are substantial.
This was my third refinance with Cap Center. I've been very satisfied. The entire process is simple, never any surprises, and zero closing costs means zero closing costs.
Cap your closing costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rates, savings, and offer limitations. This ad contains real client feedback voiced by actors. NMLS ID 67717. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Fall is a season that's a little in the middle. It's sort of the best of two seasons. It's no longer a sweaty summer, but the winter chill is still around the corner. And that's the perfect time to feed and seed your lawn with Scott's Turf Builder. Even better than spring, because the soil is still warm, but the air is getting cool. So your lawn gets the most nutrients in the best combination of temperatures. Feed and seed now with Scott's Turf Builder and build the best lawn for every season. Scott's, it's good out here.
When a community grows, its hospital should grow too. And that's just what we're doing at Lexington Medical Center. We recently launched the largest hospital expansion project in South Carolina history. Our new 10-story patient tower will help us take better care of patients, including the tiniest infants who need special attention. It will also make room for the growing number of patients who need surgery and intensive care. At Lexington Medical Center, our mission to serve our community never wavers. We're here when you need us today, and we'll be there when you need us tomorrow.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason a couple of years ago, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." When I asked him why, he said, "Because when I go outside to play, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me a hero, when all I did was call my good buddy Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe. With their routine service plan, no more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. That's 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
How do you take your pregame up a notch? Book former Carolina player Bill Gauss and his son Will at Billy G's Carolina Barbecue to cater your event. Nominated Best Caterer in Columbia, Billy G's Carolina Barbecue brings their A-game. Barbecue, oyster roast, wedding receptions, corporate events, and of course, tailgate parties. And they have a food truck for those special events. Call 256-2694 to book your next event. That's 256-2694. Billy G's Carolina Barbecue, South Carolina's #1 team for barbecue.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app. And on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Segment here on a Tuesday afternoon from iHeartRadio, Lawton Swan, Clemson Sports Talk. Lanier was kind enough to hang through the line with us to talk about Clemson's wideouts. Lanier, how are you, man?
Fine, thank you, Lawton. Yes, the wide receivers, it's very evident if you go back and look at a replay of the game, it's very evident that the wide receivers aren't blocking at all. not like people like Amari Rogers and Cornell Powell did in the past last year, as well as even like when Hunter Renfro was there. Hunter Renfro wasn't afraid to hit anybody at all whatsoever. And these guys, not only are they quicker than these tall wide receivers, but they can get open. They run good routes. If you look at film on them and everything, is very evident and all in that respect. And hopefully they went back this week and worked on fundamentals. Perhaps maybe they'll do spring some more double team blocks and all in that regards, because hopefully Moffa will get a shot this week, and hopefully a big back like that may be one of the answers. But they've got to work together as a team in order to succeed. And thank you so much. Enjoy your show.
Yeah, hey, real quick before you go, how much are you surprised that this is what you're – I mean, because, right, like, few teams have done what Clemson's done historically in college football. I mean, 97 weeks in the top 20 or the top 10, all of those numbers are just incredible. But, I mean, just for you from that standpoint, or 97 weeks in the top 5, I think, you know, it was bound to happen at some point, right? I kind of been warning people a little bit that it could happen, but how surprised are you that this is the year?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, especially with the youth of the offensive line and all in that regards. Last year, you know, it was very evident. And 2 years ago, after they got whipped by LSU, I thought to myself at that point in time, Robbie Caldwell's getting a bit up in age. He needs to retire, and they need to go out and spend the money to get an excellent offensive line coach, somebody who's got a excellent reputation and is well regarded by his peers in the industry.
Lanier, man, appreciate the phone call. Hope to hear from you again. And I can assure you that even though we'll be back in the home studios, I'm going to work to figure out a way to get these phone calls coming in because I love hearing from our listeners. Thanks, Lanier. Appreciate the phone call, man. Enjoy the season. Hopefully it'll go well for you. 803-978-1832. Again, a weird day. We are streaming it. It looks like the battery might be getting ready to go any minute here. So hopefully I can get through the next 3 minutes. I got 6% on the battery. That was one thing I forgot today. So if you're watching the stream and we start to break up, I apologize. That's on me. That's not on you. That is not on you. That's on me, 100%. I didn't bring the, that was one of the changes. One of the things that I had to adjust to getting back here with you today, I forgot the power cord for the laptop. But I may come in and do the show here tomorrow. I haven't decided. I've got some options, but we're definitely working on getting a delay at the house and getting a phone line at the house. So instead of trying to do all of that in betwixt hanging out with you and possibly being off the air, I said, no, you know what? I'll come in studio and we'll do it live. We'll do it live from right here at Greystone Boulevard. Again, thank you to all the callers today, man. Ed, Lanier, who else do we hear from? Mac, I think, earlier with some great questions. Mac was right. I don't even know if I really answered your question, Mac, but you're right, man. The ebbs and the flows. It's bound to happen at some point for all the teams. Clemson was bound to have a down year. I kind of addressed it. Certainly have talked about it in the past that it could be coming. No program, you look at Florida State and where they are right now, no program is immune to a down season. I think the most surprising thing for Clemson still is the fact that you've been so good for so long, and you were so much better than your contemporaries in the ACC. Like, that's the other side of this coin for me that is probably the most frustrating. Like, losing to Georgia in the opener the way you did, you still had a lot of respect. I said it out of the gates. I said, look, man, you can't judge Clemson and Georgia and say, well, Georgia's great and Clemson's terrible. I mean, that's a play away from being a flip side game where Clemson wins it. But against Georgia Tech and NC State, you've got to look sharper if you're Clemson. Like, those are teams in your league that you should handle. And that's always been the advantage. Like when people are always telling me, oh, Swanny, don't you think Clemson should go play in the SEC? Don't you think Clemson should go play in the Big 12? Nope. Win the ACC, do it the way you've done it, and you're in. And you had a little cachet with who you've been. So you weren't going to be discredited. Clemson was in the catbird seat when it comes down to postseason action in the college football playoff, being in the Atlantic Coast Conference. This year's finish will set the tone for what next year could be for Clemson in the terms of a respect factor. You finish strong here, you run it out, you win your bowl game. Dude, they'll start off next year right there in the top 10, and these first 4 weeks will be written off as just a sluggish start for the hair. Now can they get back to being the hair out of the gates as well and racing past their opponents? We'll find out over the next few weeks. Thank you again for hanging out here on a Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate each and every one of you being a part of the show that shakes the Southland. Again, it is Clemson Sports Talk. We'll be back at the Palatial Studios at home tomorrow. Until then, as always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400.